Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a brand new game called Truth and Trivia. It's a show that tests your knowledge of history and challenges your mind. So you history buffs over there, I hope that you at home are going to play along with us. I'm your host, Frank Avrush, and I'm delighted to be here. As you know, we have an interesting show. Today is George Washington's birthday, and we have a group of celebrity panelists. I'd like to have you meet first our own Eileen, Prose, star of stage, screen, and facsimile.
Nice to meet you,
Thank you, thank you. Wink Martindale, eat your heart out.
Okay. And from News Center 5, our own Brenda Starr, Susan Warnick is here. Susan, how are you? And we are delighted that she flew in especially to be with us this morning. The wonderful Kitty Carlisle, who has been on just about every game show that you can think, and she thinks this is going to be a big winner. So she's here. Nice thing, I've seen your movie with the Marx Brothers, Night at the Opera. Loved it very much. Okay, let's, today, as we mentioned, it's George Washington's birthday, and we have three men who claim to be the father of our country. Gentlemen, would you please introduce yourselves?
My name is George Washington, and I'm the father of our country. I cannot tell a lie.
My name is George Washington. I'm the father of this country, and I cannot tell a lie.
My name is George Washington, and I am the father of this country, and I cannot tell a lie.
Well, there you have it. We hope that you folks at home will play along with us, because one of these men is not telling the truth. Okay, we're ready to play Truth and Trivia. And Eileen, we'll start off with you. Your first question.
First of all, I must say that I'm a little concerned about the state of our country at this point. But this is for all of you. Susan and I were talking earlier this morning about the truth of your real birthday. Who would like to address? When were you born?
Okay, which one? Any one of you.
I've been suffering from a little bit of Alzheimer's these days, so I really don't remember. After 200 years, it's thank you very much.
Number two, what about you?
Hey? Oh, 1719. Hey.
Number three.
My birthday was actually on February 11th in 1732, but in the 1750s, the calendar had been changed, and my birthday became the 22nd.
George was always a happy kind of guy, wasn't he? All right, Susan, you have our next question.
Contestant number 2. Who does your hair?
Well, I'm glad you asked. My hairdresser is Diego of Harvard Square. I'm proud of him.
I didn't know he was that old.
Oh, yes.
Contestant number... Do I get another question?
You get, yeah, you wanted to ask him about, you get another question.
Oh,
ask him about the cherry tree.
I was
Everyone
just going to ask,
know.
what is the story? I want the reporter, the story behind the story.
Well, the story behind the story
Of the cherry tree.
of the cherry tree was my father wanted to punish me severely after I had chopped it down. The punishment was to carry it back and put it in the woodshed, and I received a great hernia from it, and that was the punishment.
Number two, what about you?
Well, it was, I guess, about 1751, and why, me and my friend, a man named Tony V, a young man I used to chop trees with, we argued over who was going to chop it, but it ended up being him.
And number three.
The whole story is actually a farce. I never did chop down the tree. It was made up by an author who was trying to make some money from me.
Oh, that's, well, there you have it, and it's up to you. Now, remember, you folks at home have to decide which one of these three are going... No, we're not through yet. We're going to continue. But Kitty Carlisle flew in from New York. What a busy schedule. Then we got it. This is Kitty. Have you met Susan?
Yes, I'm
That's
kidding.
Eileen. How are you? Let's all
Lovely.
shake hands. How's everything?
Why don't we do that?
Love your black hair there very much. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kitty.
Well, for numbers 1 and number 3, what was your first job and how old were you?
Well,
one?
Miss Dukakis. Kitty. May I call you Kitty?
Oh, you can.
Kitty. I had a kitty once. It used to go, meow.
The question, please.
Yes,
We're
back
trying to
to
keep
the
this show
question,
Truth and
yes.
Trivia moving here. Go ahead.
My first job was a plowboy.
How old were you?
I was 14, and that's when I got my working papers.
Number
Thank you
two.
very much.
Well, I was a stand-up comedian when it all started. I take my axe, please. Thank you.
Number three.
I was a land surveyor of Lord Fairfax's estate, and I was only 16.
Eileen, go ahead.
My turn. How did you become commander-in-chief of the Revolutionary Forces, and how much were you paid? George, number 1?
Well, we tossed a coin. It was a quarter. I think it was a caveman on the quarter, because this was long before they printed my picture on it. And it came up heads, and I looked more like a caveman than anybody else, so I became Commander-in-Chief. Thank you very much.
Number two.
Well, I knew how to work a club pretty well, and they liked the way I looked in a uniform, and that's the story behind
Number three.
the story.
I was nominated by John Adams of Massachusetts, and my monthly salary was $500.
Hey, we're getting close now. All right, Susan, time for one more question because it's getting close.
This is going to be incisive.
Okay.
George Washington, number one.
Yes.
During the Revolution, what was your horse's name?
Just quick.
Quillip.
Number two.
Rodney.
Three.
Nelson.
I have one quick question. There are, obviously, you slept around. I mean, a lot of places. No, wait. George Washington slept here.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Okay.
How did you find time, though, to visit all those places? And George, number two.
My wife Martha was very upset when she found out, but I got around, and I'm happy to say Motel 6 was around a few hundred years ago.
All right, Kitty, just one quick question from you. And then
What are your teeth made of? Number two.
Your teeth.
Mine?
Your teeth.
Oh.
Teeth in the mouth.
Plastic.
Plastic. Number one.
Crazy glue.
Number three.
Their regular teeth, thanks.
Okay, I think that's about all the time we have. Now, panelists, what I want you to do, and you at home can play along with us, which one of these three gentlemen is telling the truth and claims to be the real George Washington? Number one, number two, or number three? All right? Eileen, have you made your choice? Oh, Eileen, this is not a big quiz. I mean, just put a number down there.
Take
All right,
Susan. I'm
Susan
still
first.
thinking.
Susan, now, let's be serious here. One, two, or three?
This was not hard for this reporter.
Okay.
Number.
You think number three is the real one? Eileen, number three.
And
All right, now, we will see how astute you are as a panelist. Will the real George Washington please stand up?
Okay.
All right, the real one. All right,
right.
He really was telling the truth.
You know, I think what I liked about the real George is his humility and showing his roots.
That's right. And as a matter of fact,
Showing his
we
teeth.
do have a prize. A prize is for, and of course, you'd never guess, it's a cherry pie. And we have it right over here because
Frank, you really
you
should.
really have to celebrate. But I tell you what, it's a low-budget show. Yeah, there we almost lost the pie, but will you share it with the rest of
I
them?
sure will.
Because
Thanks, Frank.
George Washington was a sharer. Pass that down to him.
Oh, boy.
Well, thank you. I want to thank our panelists. And Kitty.
Thank you, Frank.
And I want to thank all of you for being with us for another edition of Truth and Trivia. Now we're going to take a break. When we come back,
Susan wants to ask you something. What?
I want to ask you something.
What?
How did we get into this?
that's what I'm asking.